Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So what are your impressions of Valhalla, just for folks that have not seen it on TV or didn't watch the Ryder Cups or past majors?
You know, they see a PGA maybe at a Southern Hills or a Bet Page or, whatever it may be. And they're like, Valhalla and Louisville, Kentucky. But like, look at the tournaments produced and it's insane. Yeah. It really has. And obviously, of course, I'm a bias toward it.
Only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in Game Live on this Thursday now, May the 2nd on the Sports Grid Network. We are PrimeTime, and we've got plenty of PrimeTime games coming up here over the next couple of hours. First pitch in Houston, and that final game between the Cleveland Guardians and the Houston Astros, that's happening here in just a couple of minutes. The puck will drop in Toronto as the Maple Leafs try to continue their series and their season against the Boston Bruins. Not to mention, top of next hour, Knicks and Sixers. But first up, Dave Sharapan in the house, and we got a leather basketball game going on right now with the Pacers trying to advance over the Milwaukee Bucks, who got some good news. They learned that Lillard was actually going tonight. He is, not that you'd know it, but it is 68-56 here in the third with about 8.5 to go. Which way were you leaning in this one? Because the market didn't know what the hell to do this morning.
So I'm watching the line this morning when it, day of business opens out west, and it's high, 8.5, a lot of places. Starts to trickle down, and it's the trickle. It's not move like from 8.6, it's 8.5 to 8 to 7 to 6.5, which is all what I like to call rumor-based movement. It's like, oh, well, maybe Dame's going to play. Maybe Giannis is going to play. And then we're doing a BVB, and it moves right to 5.5, 5 in some places. And I said, both of them are playing, if not one for sure, if not both. So the move came that way. I don't know. This sets up perfectly for Indiana to win. Sometimes the number may keep you off of laying it with the favorite, but I don't know. I thought that if anything is going to, if the team like Indiana is going to take their next step, they win the home game with the other team down. They can't let this go back. They had their worst game in the series last game. So lean at Indiana. As far as the total, over. It's just it's one of those ones that I think it plays more to the way they played in the regular season and less when they have those duds in the playoffs. And again, not because Dame's playing, just because of the way the game has to be played for Milwaukee to have a chance, Joe. I think it's an up-tempo game. So that's where I was before the game, and nothing I've seen so far is yet to change my mind.
No, to me, it was a gift because not only did the line drop, but the team total dropped for Indiana as well, as they were anticipating a whole lot more Milwaukee Bucks scoring. I don't know why anybody thought it was, we had this with Kawhi Leonard earlier this last week too, with him not being there, and the line moves 3 points, 2.5 points. If Giannis could have played, he wouldn't have waited till his team got into a 3-2 hole in order to be able to get onto the court. So I didn't. Yeah. It was always, to me, going to be Lillard or not. And quite honestly, you could have made the argument like we did with Kawhi. A 60-70% Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, not exactly what a team needs, especially going up against a team like Indiana that's going to want to get out and run. And can Milwaukee control the pace? And right now, they're not doing a very good job of it. They're down 12, and this just kind of feels like it's the beginning of the end with or without Lillard. It's kind of hard to factor in a dude who plays zero defense when healthy, and now he's one step away from pulling an Achilles tear. We're supposed to think Indiana's going to score less. I didn't quite understand what the market was doing in this one, but it just seemed like Indiana was where it was at with the overreaction to the rumor mill. What did you do in a hockey game coming up here? Is this going 7 in your mind?
I don't think so. I think this is the game. Listen, Boston hasn't won a clinching game. I think Matt told me today they're 0-4 in their last 4 opportunities to clinch a series. That doesn't bode well. But Toronto's only path to victory was the way they got the last one. Wall is unbelievable. He's the best player on the ice because their best player, Austin Matthews, isn't playing. So I think the game actually, if you like Toronto, you like the under. 2-1, 3-2, it's 2-2 goes to overtime, just like it did last time. I mean, that's the only way. I don't think that's the case. I think Boston scores tonight. We'll see. We'll know early. That game's, getting ready to start. So I'll keep an eye on that close. I don't know. I have to just pay you at the top of the show why I'm wearing the A stuff. The Pirates went to Oakland and lost 3 games in a row. I have to pay off a bet. So I wore all the A stuff. I actually went up to Oakland yesterday to see a game in Oakland Coliseum. And it was interesting. I got to be honest, it was kind of sad. They're not going to have a baseball team, and they have a lot of history. Always been one of my favorite teams, like for the American League side. And there weren't many people there. They're angry. There were more sell the team shirts outside than actual team shirts, like merch. I did not buy one of those. I probably should have because they'll be collector's items. But apparently they're coming to Vegas. Still, I think it's going to happen, but they're going to Sacramento for the next couple of years to be playing out there. And I said, all right, if the Pirates get swept, I'll wear A stuff. So it was good that I was there because I picked up a bunch of it. And hence, they're not playing tonight, but I'm wearing A stuff.
Oof. Now, let me ask you a question, because I don't know, quite honestly, what would be a rarer sight. Somebody at an A's game wearing an A's, gear, or somebody at an A's game wearing Pirates gear. I kind of feel like the Pirates gear probably outnumbered the A's gear in the stadium there. And mostly they took everyone who was outside and just let them in behind home plate. So I would imagine there were more Pirate fans there than A's fans.
There were a lot of Pirate fans there. And it's funny because I took it up. I took the opportunity that was presented. I said, I'll come up for the day. So flew up in the morning in the throwback Pirates gear, dressed as Willie Stargell, number 8. And Willie is from Alameda. So there's a lot of people in Oakland that think Willie Stargell's cool. because he's a local. So I was getting like, hey, love the jersey, love Stargell, blah, 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 blah. Hence, when I'm walking in, there's other Pirate stuff all over the place. And I'm like, hey, let's go Bucks. And, wow, we can't hit right now. Like, don't worry about it. Stripling's going. We'll be okay. It'll be fine. He has it. ZRA's like 7. Buckles will at least, win the first 5. We'll take a lead, something. Joe, I flew a total of 1,000 miles, 1072 to be exact, up and back in the same day. Pirates didn't score a run, not one. Got thrown out at the plate twice and stranded 10 or 11 guys. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. If the trip was dependent on me having a good time based on the Pirates' production or result, it would have been a bad trip. But it was worth it. It was good. I was glad I got to see a game there. I am 100% going back this summer.
It's, the good news is you were able to rack up some frequent flyer miles because certainly you weren't able to see any runs there. So somebody had to rack something up here going to root for the Pirates at Oakland. But it is kind of eerie seeing an entire stadium filled with absolutely nobody. It is a little trippy there, but that stadium was kind of past its due anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what shows up there. It's also interesting to see what shows up next here. In-game live primetime continues.
Torrey Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze's not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live primetime on this Thursday. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan on this, playoff kind of Thursday here as we've got the all-important Game 6 in the NBA happening right now with the Pacers trying to close out the Bucks 75 now to 61 with about 6 minutes to go in the third. In-game total, 220.5 for those that dabbled in the total here. In game number 11.5 for the Pacers right now, who look like They are well on their way to hopefully not throwing up all over themselves like, the Knicks did, in fact, which is why we have a game coming up at the top of the hour here. And, boy, you don't talk to Philly fans because you would think the Sixers have already won something. All they've won is an opportunity to go back to Madison Square Garden at this point here, Dave. But they are a favorite here, laying 3, and that line has not moved. The total has moved. 198.5, 199. Now I'm seeing 202.5. Am I missing something with this? What's with the over money in this battle coming up tonight?
Word on the street must be that Embiid's feeling good, right? That's what I think. That's what I think it means. Now, if you've watched the games, I don't know how good he's feeling because he looks like he's laboring. Yeah. I mean, you're asking him to play so many minutes. And listen, the Sixers are only have this opportunity because of what Maxey did at the end of that game. That was an unbelievable finish just to get him to overtime. And then he did it there too. So can he have another legacy game? I don't know if he has to. So I don't know. The boys, the boys in the back here have had a fun time turning me into a Knicks fan. There's been some work done to put me in complete line of Knicks merch, of which I have none. I have one hat that I got on a discount table for $2, a New York Knicks hat. So it's the only piece of merch that I have. I would have worn it tonight, but I don't think they're going to win. Joe, I like the Sixers. I thought this would be a 6 or 7 game series. We're in game 6, and I just think that you finally get the good game from the Sixers tonight, despite the fact that, again, I went to the merch shop. Look what they did to me, Joe. I got the foam finger, terrible. The hat, the jersey, all the stuff. And I don't know. Do you like a side in this thing? I like the over. I do.
I took the Knicks in the series to begin with, but this was a pick'em series before it started. And the Knicks certainly looked like they should have gotten it done, but they got, more than anything else, they got Thibs. And that's what happened because they let all good old Thibs get involved in actually trying to coach. And, well, when they needed him to coach, he didn't. And so that ended up biting them here. I did take the Knicks early, first half. I think they'll come out with some vengeance. And for some reason, Brunson and company, they shoot better at Philadelphia than they have at the Garden. Which is very, very strange to me in this realm. I also came up with a really interesting number, Dave. What I didn't know is that you got Embiid during the season. I think he chucked up around 16% of his shots were from 3-point range during the season.
Okay.
In this series, he's up to almost 35% of his shots are 3. You're not winning if Embiid is taking 35% of his shots from. Now, granted, he made 5 in that one game, which was absurd when he made the 50, because the Knicks are like, we're going to leave you out here all day long. We don't go ahead and take as many as you want. I don't care, but I don't think that's a recipe for success for Embiid chucking up threes. As wide open as he may be, my goodness, that is not going to be a good scenario. I'm confused at the total because we know game 6s, usually it's a little slower, a little grinded out more. If these two teams are, in fact, as equal as some people think they are, I always thought the Knicks were the better 3-point shooting team, and in a game like this should be able to win, except I don't think they're going to let Brunson beat them. It's got to be somebody else, no?
Yes, you would think so. You would think so. But what I saw from Brunson in that game over the weekend, when he took over and put up that big number, if he gets going, this becomes one of those, just like it did that day, where they're trading scores. The guards are controlling the play. I think the game is 100% in one of those two guys' hands. And again, whoever can find a way, like Connor McDavid did for the Oilers in clinching their series yesterday, as well as playing the whole series, the best guy on the team doesn't have to be the best guy for scoring. Dishing out assists. Connor McDavid had one goal and 11 assists in 5 games for the Oilers. If Brunson or Maxey can find a way to do that, I think they lead their team to the series win. And, I mean, tonight, again, thinking ahead, I like the Sixers today. And then, depending on injuries and things like that, the Knicks will probably clinch this thing in a Game 7 at home.
Listen, that's why I took the Knicks early. Let's see what you got. Inevitably, Philadelphia better at home in the second half. We'll see how this works out. I do think this is going to be a close game, but I will mention that in Game 6s since 2005, unders 92 and 66, 58% since 2005. You got a lot of guys that played 50 minutes or more in that last game, which wasn't too long ago. So a little short rest, a lot of minutes, tired legs. Embiid, you don't know what you're going to get. He looks like Tiger Woods trying to come up the 18th green at Augusta, man. Like, you're like, oh, no, please don't. Like, somebody get this guy a wheelchair, will you? This is awful on so many levels. We'll have more on that game. We'll also get you updated as the NHL playoffs underway here tonight. We got you covered in-game live primetime.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze's not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, and we are primetime here on this Thursday. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan, and boy, they won't go away, Milwaukee. As much as the Pacers keep trying to pull away here, they can't do it. It's a 7-point game here, and I do believe the Bucks closed as a 6-point dog. So those that are holding Bucks plus the points, You're very much alive in this game here as they get ready to wrap up here the third quarter. All important fourth quarter coming up. In-game total, by the way, 223.5. So that is certainly trending to the over. In the hockey game, Dave, didn't take them too long before Domi and company just throwing bombs at one another here. Very chippy so far in the first 6-7 minutes of this Max Domi. Max is Ty's son, but it's not, let me tell you something. He was he was pretty fun to watch play as well. Must run in the family. They just all like to beat the living crap out of people.
Yes.
But it is a little chippy with 7 minutes into they realize it's 3 periods. Like settle down. You can't kill everyone right away. No.
No, this is exactly the way Toronto has to play. They have to play this. They have to do this. Domi's the right guy to do it. They got a couple other guys that have kind of stepped up and not only matched Boston's intensity or physicality, they've kind of dictated it. Now they got to score first.
Yep.
I feel like the whole building, the air will get let out of it, and we'll have Cam later.
Correct.
And we'll know the state of the game by the time Cam comes on, how he feels. He was so despondent the other night when he came on with us. I felt bad. I was like, oh, no. How's this going to end? So far, so good. Now, but the under, you see the numbers already down 4.5.
Yep.
So, again, it's going to move quick based on the last game. You're going to have an opportunity to go over a very small, small number. I mean, you might get by the end of this. If there's no goal by the end of this period, it's 3.5. So
exactly.
Stay patient. Stay patient if you like the under, or I mean, if you like the over, you want a better number, because it's not even going to jump that much if there's 1 goal scored in the first period. So it's been. I mean, it's been a fun game. It's been a lot of very physical and not a lot of whistles. To be perfectly honest, I'm watching it and I'm watching
that's
it.
the honest thing.
Go fast, right?
There's not one penalty yet, and yet some really vicious shots going on in here. And by the way, they've outshot them 5-0 right now. So they've Toronto's doing, like you said, exactly in the first half of the first period. We're at 10-minute mark. They are banging the boards, and Tavares and company. They're throwing shots on Swayman here, but man, they got to crack him. When I see them crack him, I'll be a believer. Toronto. I hate to say it, but I'm with you, Dave. Toronto's got to score first. They got to keep this building involved, because if the minute they see Boston celebrating, the air is absolutely going to be let out there, and that's going to be tough to come back from, especially early.
By playing the game in Toronto, it's crazy. You would think they would have the edge. I think all the pressure's on them because they're in Toronto. They have to literally. They got to score first, like you said, because you're going to get that. Oh, here we go again feeling.
That's correct. Yep.
Right. So all the pressure's on them. Power play is going to be huge. Boston successful on a power play, but limited number of opportunities. Toronto, more opportunities, more pressure to score because they haven't been able to score as many. So,
correct.
I don't want to say the first penalty when it comes is going to not dictate the score or the final result. But, man, the teams that get the first power play and actually convert it puts all the pressure in the world on the other team. Now, the way the officiating usually goes in the NHL, at least it used to, old school.
Yep.
First team gets a penalty, the other team gets the next one. So we used to joke, my brothers and I would be at the games as kids at the Penguin games in Pittsburgh, and you would go, oh, all right, penalty on the Penguins, next one's on the Capitals. And then penalty on the Penguins, the next one's on the Capitals. That's just for an example. And, wow, here it is. Here it is, Joe. Brad Marchand called for a penalty. So
finally got somebody in the box. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, too. We'll see how that leads to next year on the grid.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked up the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, Prime Time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here on this Thursday evening as keeping our eye on one of each. In fact, we've got one Major League Baseball game underway right now in Houston. We had a lot of day baseball, a little getaway day, but it is 0-0 here with the Guardians and the Astros, so we'll keep you posted with what's going on there. Arrighetti versus Logan Allen in that one. I may have a wager on the Houston Astros in that one at home. We do have I guess pouring it on is the right term here with the Pacers, 96-82 with about 10 minutes to go. So 110.5 was the Pacers team total for the game. I do think they'll be able to get that in hand here. As far as the Bucks go, well, they're going to have to figure out somebody to at least get a stop or two because the Pacers are all over them. And Toronto, I think, made it through the power play without scoring here. So we got a 0-0 with Boston and Toronto here, and we did finally have a whistle. And it looks like Toronto was not able to capitalize. Special teams again, Dave, been a big problem for them.
It has, and Swayman in net made a couple good saves. Toronto was buzzing, had a couple opportunities, but either lost the puck in front, and Swayman made a save or two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at the score for the Pacers too. They keep taking the Bucks' best shot, get it within 8, get it to 10, and then extend it. You know, like Lisa says, extend. They're extending the lead. I'm trying to figure this out. If the Pacers win, okay, and the Sixers win tonight and somehow win game 7, Pacers have home court, okay? They play the Sixers. What's the number? What's the number? Because they're small dogs to the Knicks. I know that. But the Pacers, with more games in Indiana than in Philadelphia, I mean, can you make them a favorite? Or do you make them a small one?
I wouldn't think they would be a favorite in that series there, especially if you're talking about the Sixers are able to win the final 2 games here. I do think that you'll probably get a whole lot more market love for Philadelphia if they're able to get past the Knicks. What's the series right now? What's the series price right now for the Knicks and the Sixers here? I mean, are the Sixers, what are they right now? Plus 300 right now to win the series. So I would imagine, and they're a favorite here tonight. So I don't even know if we could roll that over into anything, because I would imagine if they win tonight, what's the line for Game 7, Knicks and Sixers? It's going to be what, 2?
4?
2.5? You think it'll be as high as 4 there?
It might be, again, depending on the results. If everything stays the same, everybody's health stays the same, probably 4, just under. Somewhere at 3.5, 4. I mean, right now, the Knicks, is this right? They're about a 350 favorite in the series.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So it's a safe assumption that if they don't win it tonight, that they're winning it tomorrow. We're just going to say that's how this is going to go. Or, Game 7, I mean.
I would not. Our good friend Ralph Michaels came up with a stat today. Over the last 10 years, it has not fared well for home favorites in a Game 7 lined less than 4. So home favorites have not been great against the number over the last decade in the NBA. I think to the tune of 3-15 ATS, I believe, is what we had it. So, yeah, it has not been a guarantee. It also... it has actually, Dave, we always think Game 7 unders are just betted blindly. Don't, expect it to be an absolute rock fight. Whistles will be swallowed. Don't expect a whole lot of points. That is true in every round except the first round. In the first round, it's been more profitable to look at overs in Game 7s. Once you get to round 2, 3, and 4, then you start automatically just go ahead and start betting the unders. You're in good shape. So I do think, listen, this one ain't going to be a Game 7 with Indiana and Milwaukee. But the Knicks, Sixers, definitely a chance to get to a Game 7. I think Cleveland and Orlando are probably going 7. And might we say that Dallas and the Clippers, that too, probably going 7. We could have in round 1 here a few more Game 7s than we might have thought here just a few days ago, Dave.
Yeah, it's usually one of those things where in the first round, if you get one Game 7, that's good.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's that rare, but to get 2, especially with a couple big markets, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get the Knicks and the Sixers to be a 7-gamer, right? And then, LA and Dallas, that would be okay too, for a 7-gamer. Although, I didn't, full disclosure, I didn't watch the full game yesterday, but is Dallas? I don't want to say. The term in a book that guys use is it a lay down, where Dallas
it was over before it started.
You think it's over? It's done? That's it?
No, it was over quickly in that game yesterday. It was not. It really wasn't anything to. It wasn't a game. Dallas was really always in control of that, and not a big deal. But listen, we know they just said today Kawhi Leonard out. Shocker, as we knew that, but he's not going to be available at all. And then they'll have to see moving forward. But I can tell you right now from past experience, he's out. Don't expect him, even if they get past this series, don't. But really, I think we already knew that going into this series, and I still thought it was going to go 7 because Luka's not 100% either. And you still have Harden and, Paul George with an ability to beat anybody. So, and they've already done it a handful of times here in this series. So it feels like it's got 7 games written all over it. But I'll say this. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, I don't know. Nobody's talking about Kyrie, but the dude is playing at an MVP level, man. And Luka getting all the headlines, but he is legit carrying this Dallas team. And if Luka is hurt, and he is, obviously, he's not 100%, Kyrie
Right.
is just flat out balling, dude. I think we forgot how good a player this guy, he hid behind LeBron, right? He was never told it was LeBron's team in Cleveland, but he still got the ring. And now he's here, he's behind Luka, but nobody's talking about him. It's like he has absolutely been something else in this series. And if they win it, Dallas is a force to be reckoned with here, because I do think Minnesota and Denver will get their pound of flesh from each other.
You're right. That's the
right.
That's the hard part, both in the hockey and the basketball, the path and how long it takes. Right. So Boston's done scrimmaging Miami or whatever that was, Joe. I mean, they stole a game. Boston made sure they wouldn't steal another one. That's the way these things usually go. So it's a hell of a series. This is a hell of a series. I got guys like, my buddy Tommy the Lip, I call him. He's been all over this Clippers team. I got a couple, brothers, the G's brothers, I call them. They're all over them too. I don't see it. I want to see it with them. I don't see it. I think that one, that's tomorrow, but I think it's done.
I do think it's done. I also think we're finally going to get a total that closes under 200 tomorrow with Orlando and Cleveland. I don't think that thing hits 200. So more to come as In-Game Live Primetime continues here on the Grid.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze's not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. I believe we are primetime here, even though the Pacers are playing the Bucks. Not very primetime-ish, but the good news is we have the Knicks and the Sixers coming up in a Game 6, and we've got our good friend Adam Kaufman stepping in here, ready for a little Game 6 action, because when we have this many Game 6s, Adam, it means that eventually we're probably going to get at least one Game 7, and it certainly doesn't look like it's going to happen with the Pacers and the Bucks, which leaves us Knicks and Sixers. How much faith do you have in Philadelphia tonight?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. If we're getting a Game 7 somewhere, I think it's going to be Cleveland and Orlando. I don't think it's going to be this one here. I'm on the Knicks, and we've talked about this in the past, just the general approach, the strategy when it comes to betting. When the spread is as tight as it is, and we're looking at a 3-point spread, if you can talk yourself into a side, and I have beyond talked myself into the Knicks side, just take the plus money on the money line, man. I like the plus 130, 135, whatever the number's sitting at now. I bet it last night. But that's the play as far as I'm concerned. They just barely lost the last game in overtime. It took a Tyrese Maxey three-pointer to force the game into extra time to keep the Sixers alive in the first place, to stave off elimination. And then I think, at least in my opinion, watching that thing, I just felt like Brunson and company, there were some bad turnovers late because I think they were so tired. I think they ran out of gas. I'm not making an excuse for them. I just believe that the Knicks are the better team, and I think they're going to rise to the occasion, much as the Sixers, to their credit, rose to the occasion in New York. I think the Knicks are going to do so in Philadelphia. I don't see the series coming back to Madison Square Garden. I think at that point in time, it's going to be the Knicks preparing for the Pacers. And plus, let's not discount what an elite level choker Joel Embiid is in the playoffs. I think this is going to end badly for him. I really do.
Man, you're coming in.
Throwing haymakers, Sharapan.
I don't know.
I love
What
it.
do I need to wake you guys up? Come on. Are you in a Bruins Maple Leafs lull? The Bees haven't woken up for this game yet. They've taken one shot. It's the first period, and the first period's almost over. They've taken one shot. What the hell?
Yep.
It's like Bob Uecker in Major League. What? One hit? One hit. That's all we got. One GD hit. You can't say that. Yeah, nobody's listening.
Yep.
Oh,
right.
God.
Nobody's listening anyway.
That's good that you said Knicks, Adam. The boys in the back have made me a Knicks fan. They took me to the merch shop and went and got one of everything there. I got the foam finger. I got the hat.
You look
I
good.
got the jersey. But I'm not buying
Those colors look great on you.
I really thought the Sixers. Thank you. I've been told that blue is my color. I don't know, man. I think the game plays to the over. Do you like anything on the total? Because I mean, if the Knicks win, it's an ugly. They probably play way better defensively and just hold Embiid to nothing. Maxey can't possibly repeat that. I like the game to go over. I'm leaning Sixers. That's why. How about you with the total?
So when the line came out, I don't remember exactly what it opened at, but it was in the vicinity of 200 on the nose. And I saw people betting the under 200 like crazy. And then I looked at it earlier today and it was down to 198, I think it was. And now it's steamed back up and I'm seeing it at 202. This is, I could see the under. I get the argument for it. We've seen some lower scoring games in the series. They've, defended each other well, little more bruising inside and kind of a throwback in some ways to that 80s, 90s era basketball where you get the lower scoring games. But it's 2024, guys. When I see a line that's 202 in an NBA game, that's just an auto over for me. I don't care who's playing and what the circumstances are. So I would be inclined to take the over just out of principle. I know you guys were just talking before we came on about the under in that next game between the Cavs and Magic. It's sitting at 200 on the nose right now. Again, I'd go over just because it's too low for an NBA game in this day and age. We could get there, sure, but what do the odds favor? The odds favor more points and free throws toward the end if it's close. And you're going to have those 3-point barrages at points from Brunson or DiVincenzo or Maxey or you name it. So yeah, I would be inclined to go over. This total is just too low.
Kind of hard with you too, and you would think Magic are now laying 4 in that game tomorrow, and I would be shocked if it closes over 200. I really would, because something tells me there's not going to be a whole lot of over money coming in on that game. But I'm also shocked we're looking at 8.5 with Dallas, and that total is creeping lower to 200, like 205.5, 206 here. And that to me, are we not shooting our way in that game somewhere to over 206? Don't forget, that was what, 217 when it first started, and now we're down to 206? I don't get the
crazy.
totals market at all in these playoffs. I really don't.
Are the guy you're in Vegas there, Dave? Are the boys at the book telling us that, you know, George and Harden and Kawhi and Luka and Irving, none of these guys are going to play? It's going to be the three of us suiting up. I don't know how the total drops that low. It from where it started at to drop that low, like you're talking about, and could it continue? It is kind of nuts. I'm more interested in the spread in this game and the fact that just, you know, that it's an 8-point favorite on the part of Dallas. You know, I know they're home and it's an opportunity to close these guys out, but do we really think the Clippers are just going to totally melt and cave? I guess it depends in part on, you know, whether you're going to see Kawhi Leonard, but I'd like to think they're going to play with a little bit of pride. That being said, I would, if we were talking 24 hours ago, I would have told you to take the 8 points with the Bucks. All the more so with Damian Lillard coming back, and they're just getting absolutely rolled in Indiana. So, you know, this stuff's a little tough to tell.
We got, you know, the Celtics clinched to close the series out yesterday. And, you know, I do the show with Matt, and it's all about the Boston and the this and the that. Anything to take away from that, Adam, where the Celtics have a threat in the East? I don't want to say can be beaten, but like
wait a minute. Hold on. This is going to require more time. So Adam, don't go anywhere. Stay there.
I was just going to say, Celtics good, everyone else bad. That's the answer.
Here in Live Prime.
Torrey Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze's not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, Prime Time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here, InGame Live, Prime Time, as we're getting ready for the start of the Knicks and Sixers Game 6, and we're waiting to see if a couple of props will come through with the Milwaukee Bucks, because really, what else is there with them? Their season is about to be over here with about 2.5 minutes to go. But Adam Kaufman, I think Dave was getting ready to set you up to tell us your thoughts about the Boston Celtics, who had a scrimmage this past week that they were able to keep stretched out in Miami. But what does it mean for Boston moving forward? Where do you see what's the ceiling for this team?
Well, the ceiling obviously is banner 18, as we like to say around here. It's a championship. I mean, the Celtics, they covered in every game in that series that they won. Obviously, the game 2 surprise, they didn't, and they lost that game by 10 points. And when they lost that game at home after Miami shot at an historic rate and hit 22 whatever 3-pointers, that's as many threes as they hit the rest of the series in every other game. It was very much an aberration. I said Celtics in 5 at that point in time. I was not worried at all, and that's not me being cocky about the Celtics are so good. It's who did Miami really have to work with? The strategy going in, and I appreciate Joe Mazzulla, the head coach, saying this because it proved to be true, was without Jimmy Butler there, without Terry Rozier there, without any real weapons outside of, Bam Adebayo and I guess some level of respect to that doofus Tyler Hero, it was let Bam do whatever he wants and let's shut down everyone else. We don't care if Bam has 50 points, contain everybody else, because they're not going to go lightning crazy from 3 like they did in the series last year. The ghost of Max Strus is gone. Caleb Martin wasn't going to turn to Ray Allen again. And so I think you put it well when you called it a scrimmage. The Celtics, it was a nice little kind of game 2 wake-up call, we'll call it, but then they took them very seriously the rest of the way and took care of business, much as they are going to do in the next round against more than likely the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if it's the Orlando Magic, same story. You're not going to probably have Kristaps Porzingis for that series, and hopefully not too much longer after that, but it looks like all but definitively he's not going to play in the second round, but you don't need him to beat those 2 teams. And so it really sets up what I expect anyway, and we'll see, long ways to go, but what I expect to be a Celtics-Knicks conference finals. I think the Knicks are going to prevail against Philly. I think they're going to take care of the Pacers, although the Pacers, credit them. I know there was no Giannis and no Dame for half the series, but they played a hell of a series and a hell of a clincher tonight that they're wrapping up right now, obviously, with they're up by 13 with about 90 seconds left. So I guess the cover, if you got them at 8, might get a little sweaty here, depending on whether they take their foot off the gas. But they took care of business in this series, just as I thought they would. And, I think they're not going to, the Knicks are too good, too deep, too physical. I think it sets up for a nice series with the Celtics. All that being said, Boston is still supremely better than New York if they're mostly healthy. I say that because of the Porzingis uncertainty, and just Tatum and Brown are consistently going to be, I don't want to say always the 2 best players on the court, because that would be disrespectful to Brunson. He's had an incredible year, but they are better players overall. And so they should, anything less than a trip to the NBA Finals should be considered a failure for the Boston Celtics. And at that point in time, it's a question of, who are you facing? Is it the Denver Nuggets? Because there are an awful lot of people. I don't know about you guys. There are a lot of people out there that seem to think that Denver's going to go down to Minnesota. And if that happens, the West becomes fascinating.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
We did a couple parlays with game 1 winner and series winner. We did it with Boston. We did it with somebody else. Matt and I did. Do you think it's a short series? So say it's Boston, Cleveland. We got a 5-game series with the Heat. 5-game series with Cleveland.
I would be so I'd hesitate to get into the whole correct score thing where you're betting Boston in 5. I would rather just take Boston minus 1.5 and do it that way to at least allow yourself for it to go 6 games in case Boston does, like it did in game 2 against Miami, play with its food, once or twice. But 5 wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I agree with you. I think the biggest obstacle for the Celtics, once again, will be the Celtics. Just don't get in your own way, and I think they'll be absolutely fine. All right, Adam, we appreciate you swinging by. You got a ticket to cash with the Knicks here tonight on their way to taking on the Celtics for the Eastern Conference Championship. You heard it here first. Dave and I will be back. More in-game live primetime coming your way on this Thursday, next on the Grid.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, Prime Time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in, off and running another hour of in-game live prime time here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan. And while it was absolutely a blowout, there were an awful lot of people with the Indiana Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks who were sweating a lot of things out right until the end there, Dave, as the total was very interesting in this one here, depending on where you got it. Landed 120.98, which is interesting there. So 218 in that market, depending on when you jumped in on the total in that one. The props were hilarious. Bobby Porter's PRA was a big money grab this series because he was so dominant with Lillard out. But he came up it looks like 1 short, and he missed a couple of free throws down the end that had people screaming. But for the most part, it was a solid performance by Indiana. They will move on. They close out Milwaukee, and all Giannis could do is look like, he's ready for next year in street clothes. I just, and the thing that bothers me about Milwaukee, Dave, is they just built in an excuse for an entire year. They are just going to give Doc a pass. They're going to give everybody a pass because, we weren't healthy. Okay, let's see. That means you're going to win next year, right? Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, I don't even think they were even worried about next year right now. They just got to end this, be done. Everybody do the exit interviews, and we'll figure it out.
Go. Yes.
Just that's it. We're done talking about this. You give odds makers all the information. They get it right by game 6, usually, right? A lot of the numbers get real close. Used to say this all the time. It's going to play closer to what we put up at the end of the series. So if you're going to get them, you get them early. Going over props, you're going to come down to the last bucket or two. The totals are going to fall right within a bucket or two. There's no bunnies. There's no layups at this point with props, especially. The numbers have Phil Parcells said it best. What you are, what your numbers say you are. In the book, game 6, Play some stuff in game. Leave yourself some options because you're going to get aggravated right down to the end. Adam, finish the segment with us, talking about a guy fell short by one free throw. It's a tough out. Yeah, it's not easy. No,
it's brutal that you're sweating out a 20-point blowout. You're still sweating it out because you're hoping guys stay in long enough to be able to get you those last couple of buckets to get over in the prop market here. Terrible. I will say this, though, the Bruins and the Maple Leafs here, and there's still no score, Dave, but that was a first period completely dominated by Toronto. They outshot them 12-1. 12-1, Toronto outshot them here. So that can't continue, or is Boston stealing one here, being outplayed like this?
They couldn't stop it. Like, it started fast for Toronto, and they couldn't stop it. Two schools of thought here, right? If you're Boston and you just got a period on the road that you got outshot and dominated 12-1, you figure you're down 2-0. Maybe, right? It's 0-0. They didn't get anything. Listen, boys, let's go. We just played our worst period of the series, and it's
so
tied.
True.
And you're sitting there as a Leafs fan going, is this Swayman guy? We can't even get a shot past him. I don't think he gave up a rebound. It didn't look, there were 12 shots, but I don't know if there was one rebound. So I don't know. I feel better if I'm Boston, if I have a ticket on Boston, but I'm looking at it through those glasses. I feel better. I like the fact that we got dominated, played literally, the ice was slanted down towards our end, and it's only 0-0. Okay, that's fine. We scored the next goal, we'll be good.
What if I told you, Dave, but the Leafs did not allow there was only one shot, but they didn't give up one shot 5-on-5. Not one. Which is the only shot came on a power play. Like, what in the world? Like, can they keep that up is my question with Toronto. Did they finally put it together in that last win, that overtime win, to stay alive here? Because it's anybody's game if it goes to a game 7, right? This is do or die for them.
Yeah. It is, and it has to be fixed. If you get in that mode and you're constantly like chasing, or you're one step behind, or you're physically losing the puck battles along the boards, different things like that, it snowballs. And then what happens is you press and you make a mistake, right? Second period, the long line shifts or the long line changes usually result in some crazy thing happening, an opportunity, a breakaway, something like that. We'll see. Joe, before the segment's over, I wanted to ask you this because you've been around this stuff a long time. Worst sweat right now, postseason hockey, postseason basketball. Which one is there more pain associated with if you're watching both of these games? Like, if you get involved. Stress level.
Well, it would. I think it's hockey, simply because where we got a lot more overtime possibilities. I think there's a lot more parity in these games in the NHL. Like, again, what did we just sweat out here if you had a side or a total, it was pretty simple with what was going on in that last game with Indiana and Milwaukee here. So it's. I don't know. Knicks are up 7-2 here. Is there going to be anything first round? Have we really sweated anything out in the first round thus far in the NBA? Because we're watching the NHL. Been pretty interesting here through the first one, too. I just think there's more parity and closer games I don't know what the numbers are, but I would say the NHL tends to give people a bigger sweat than what the NBA does, because there's usually clear cut, winners and everybody else in the NBA. Like the Celtics we were just talking about and played a scrimmage. Was that ever in doubt?
No.
Even Washington gave the Rangers everything they had, and that was still more of a sweat than anything Boston and Miami gave us.
Correct. Yeah, that's the case. Wow. Somebody just got hit in the face with a stick. It looks like
Yes.
You're looking at it. I don't know if they're going to call penalty or not. The Leafs are buzzing. The Leafs are buzzing.
It's only been one penalty, though,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it is.
How many
High
penalties?
stick.
So now it's the second penalty.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is huge opportunity, fresh ice. A minute into the period, Toronto gets power play. So
double minor. Why is that
it's
a double minor?
Oh, okay. So caught him in the
Oh.
face with a stick, and looks like he got cut. So wow, this is huge. If you're watching this and you think they're going to score in a power play, or score on the first power play and then keep the second one too, we'll do that. You got to bet Toronto. This might be the game, Joe. If Boston can kill this, they switch the momentum and probably come down and score not long after that.
And this has been the Achilles heel for Toronto, not just this year, but on many past years here, not being able to take advantages like this with all that firepower. We'll see. They've got a couple of minutes to get a goal on the board. We'll see if they do it. Come back and join us here. In-game live primetime continues on the grid.
Torrey Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked out the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Prime time here as we've got our eyes in a couple of spots right now. Last time we spoke to you, the Toronto Maple Leafs trying to stay alive in their quest for a Stanley Cup this year. They are down 3-2. They are at home. They are taking on the Boston Bruins. They have been on a power play, which feels like forever, and they've managed just 2 shots and no goals. But they are out shooting Boston in this game 14-1 right now. We're 5 minutes into the second, Dave, and once again, Toronto unable to take advantage when they needed, and a great opportunity at home. And this kind of, we've been talking about, right? It kind of feels like the way Swayman is playing in net for Boston. They will get outshot 28-3, and Boston will win this game, and Toronto will figure out a way to give up one goal, lose.
This is trying to think of the way that Toronto's going to lose. Like that would be.
It's just, I mean,
that would be the narrative, right? That would be.
Yep.
They're going to triple
unreal
them up in shots on goal and win the game. Now more than ever, as I'm watching this, right, they're back to full strength.
Yep.
The longer this goes like this, the more that I think first goal wins. Now it may not win 1-0, but the first goal wins. And I'm looking at this thing, right? It's plus money. I mean, the numbers reflecting that it keeps going.
It's 2.5
towards Toronto's way. And wow, are they back on the power play? They're getting another power play. Is that what just happened?
This is
a penalty.
It's 2.5 right now. You can, I mean, it's under 3.5 juice to heaven, or under 2.5 at plus money. I think we ain't getting more than 3 goals in this game. Not
Correct.
the way these two teams are battling at it. So it's still a coin flip, but I don't know. I can figure out jumping in under 2.5 and live dangerously, because. And here's the other problem, Dave. Boston scores first, like you said. Oh my goodness, the stress, the air out of that building will especially with how they've been outplaying them the entire first half, first period, and so far now in the second. So it just feels like if the Maple Leafs ever needed a goal, they need it now in the second. They need to play from in front and not from behind. Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, speaking of playing in front and not from behind, I have the Knicks 16, Sixers 4, 7:49 left in the first. Hello. That was not the right start. We talked about it the first hour. You said Knicks first half. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx it, but that's the way this game started. So if you're looking at that, go from there. The baseball game, I got Guardians 2, Astros 1, bottom of the fourth. It's the only baseball game tonight, Joe. Everything else was day games. Is Cleveland for real? I don't know yet if I want to say absolutely yes, but I'll say yes. I think Cleveland, I don't think they're going anywhere. And again, at Houston tonight, Cleveland's going to win that division. I feel confident saying that now. I think they have everything to avoid that losing streak. Pitching's deep enough. Bullpen's still good. New manager. Cleveland Guardians. Look at that nice graphic. Are you a believer yet, Joe?
Look at that. I am. Well, I mean, 10 games over 500. It's not a kind of hard to say it's a fluke, but I do think they've also had quite the favorable schedule thus far here. And, you know, they lost Bieber, too, before this all started. So it's kind of interesting what they have done. But that's what happens when you have a pretty good bullpen that you can rely on. And the big issue is going to be, is the starting pitching going to burn out the bullpen for the Guardians as the season progresses? It's what we saw happen to Houston, last year, where the bullpen was great until, of course, when you got to August and September and you burned them out getting to that particular point. And that's going to be the big question there. I will say this kid, Arrighetti, the rookie for Houston, pretty good so far. 3 2/3. He gave up 2 runs in that second inning there, but they did get one back. So it is a 2-1 game going up against Logan Allen. And Christian Javier is actually rehabbing. He gets a rehab start this week. So he, too, is getting ready to rejoin the rotation, because the Astros starting pitching has been decimated by injuries. We just saw Verlander the other night So now they're going to get Javier back. And of course, their big gun there also just pitched this week. So the pitching is starting to get, the starting pitching is starting to get back there for Houston. But something tells me that I think Dusty exited not because he wanted to ride off into the sunset. I think Dusty exited because he knew maybe it wasn't going to be all puppy dogs and rainbows anymore with the Houston Astros, that the talent may not exactly be what it needs to be. And would I be shocked if they were there at the end? They're 10 games under 500, and the Guardians are 10 games over 500. I don't know anybody that had that happening at this point in the season, Dave, but there's a lot of baseball left to be played, though.
No, there is. There's definitely a lot of baseball to be played. You saw the Cubs lose earlier today. I don't know if you caught that. Are the Cubs with Imanaga, is he the best pitcher in baseball? Is he the best starter right now? He's been excellent.
He's their best. But the problem is they are so decimated with that lineup, they have no offense. And everybody's hurt. Bellinger's hurt. Suzuki's hurt. Everybody is hurt for the Cubs that made that lineup pretty potent. And now, they're struggling, and the pitching's not that great outside of Amanga. So, but the Cubs, long season, Cubs fans, don't worry. You'll be out of it next month. You don't have to worry about it now. We'll have more next year in Game Live.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked to have the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, Prime Time here on the SportsGrid Network. As I don't think anybody told the Sixers there's a game on tonight because they're down 24-9 with about 4.5 minutes to go. In-game total 205.5 here, Dave. That closed 202, 202.5. And the Knicks have just dominated. All 9 points, I believe, are from one Sixer, and that being Mr. Embiid. Nobody else has managed to score here for him, and the Knicks could have 30 points before the Sixers have 10. That is not the way they wanted to start this game. Not at all. My goodness. No.
Like you like to say. No.
No.
With a graphic ready, I said about the Sixers coming back from a 3-1 deficit. If you thought that would be possible, I don't know if we even need to address it right now. Now, I'm not saying the game is over. I'm not. But, I mean, you look at the in-game number, 9.5, 10. Teams up 3-1 in a series are 258-13 all time in series history. Are you kidding me? They have a chance to come back. I don't know if they had a chance to win tonight.
28-9.
Yeah, what's going on?
They just called a timeout. Oh my goodness! And what did we just say about Boston taking score and take the crowd out of it? The Knicks have literally just taken the air out of the building there in Philadelphia. Gone.
They got everybody.
Unreal.
Yeah. So, I had that teed up to ask you which was more likely or even possible, one, both, or neither of coming back from a 3-1 deficit. Before this start, I think I would have voted Sixers. But now, I mean, dare I say Toronto or neither? Like that number there leads you to believe it's neither. But I think it's the Maple Leafs. You know, on a night like it's either Maple Leafs or Sixers or neither. I think that's a no-brainer for me at this point after this start. I think it's
this was what, a 4-5 matchup? I think the Maple Leafs and Boston are what, 4 and 5 seeds? Is that a 4 playing 5? I mean, the Knicks are a 2 seed, so you would think, being the 2nd seed coming out of the East and Philadelphia, getting in via the play-in game, that the Knicks should be okay, right? Not to blow a 3-1 lead. Toronto and Boston, is there anything separating those two? I don't think so there. And I would think that there's a better chance of the 4-5, whoever is down 3-1 in that series, a better shot at coming back than a 7 seed over a 2 seed here in the NBA. Because literally, I don't even know why it was a pick 'em. The Knicks should have been a bigger favorite, which is why we bet them before the series began. But it just feels like there's not a lot separating Boston and Toronto here. I think there's an ocean apart of what separates the Knicks from the Sixers at this point. I think. But, you still got to get it done.
Yeah.
And
no, you're right. It seemed like it was a weird line with the Knicks having home court, right? Like it should have been much higher, and it was discounted.
And a 2 seed.
2 seed, home court discounted, or really lessened in the number.
Yeah.
That should be minus 150 just based on
I'm with
home
you.
court, let alone what if Embiid don't play? What if he's not healthy? What if he's not 100%? Now it slides up even more, not down.
Yep.
So, listen, it looks all well and good right now. Teams have come back from
you still got to close.
Deficits. Yeah, you got to
hardest thing to do. And both of those teams have to do it on the road. Boston's got to do it on the road. Knicks are going to have, and it's the hardest thing in sports to do is close out on the road. But I think there's signs of life here with the Bruins. This last 2-minute exchange here, Wall is standing on his head, and he has to because they are absolutely peppering him. So it is still 0-0. 8 minutes to go there. The Sixers still don't have double-digit in points yet. Hopefully they'll have that by the time we come back here in game live prime time.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked to have the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here on the SportsGrid Network. Good news, bad news. The good news is the Sixers did get to double digits. The bad news is they're still down by 18 points here, it looks like. So, or at least it's trying to get there right now. 33-16. In-game number 14.5, Dave, is what you can get for the Sixers. One who might have taken +3 maybe with the Knicks could find a pretty decent middle by grabbing 14.5 or 15 points with the Sixers, because I still don't see the Knicks. This is a game of runs. I've seen this movie before with the Knicks here. So I don't think the Sixers are done just yet, but it's a great start for the Knicks.
A 16-point middle, and it's not even the end of the first quarter. That's like that's an absolute dream if you're going to play the games that way. That never happens. Now,
correct.
Flip it over to the hockey, right?
Right.
Toronto's still out shooting Boston 18-7. There's 7 minutes left in the second period. Boston's on their first power play. All right. 1 minute left in the power play. I'm hoping we get the goal horn from somebody this period. Otherwise, we might be in for one of those classics that this would be if it was even a bigger classic, if it was game 7. But it's game 6. This one might we said it before, it was probably going to be 2-1. I'm looking at this game going, if nobody scores, after 2, this game's probably ending 1-0, maybe 2-0 with an empty netter. That's the way this is going. Boston has resigned themselves to the fact that they are not going to, open themselves up. They're playing even on a power play. Well, now they finally went to the net and went in a high traffic area. But this game's being played for Boston on the in the offensive zone along the boards and on the outside. And they're, if they don't have at least a 2-on-2 breaking into the zone, they're dumping it. They're accepting the fact that they're they're playing a road game and they got Swayman in net. When you got the goalie and you go on the bench, boys, They ain't getting one by. We got to get them one. All right, we got to get them one. Just don't make a mistake. This is getting exciting. I mean, like, this is one of those games where, I'm going to let the girls know downstairs, my daughters, are like 0-0, second period. Start watching the hockey game if you're not. Yeah.
What do we do? Because I'm seeing now it's 2.5 at plus money for the total goals in this game. I don't mind that at all at plus money, taking the under at 2.5 goals here at plus money for this, because I'm with you. I think it's 1-2 goals at most. And I don't see this opening up in the third here. If this goes to the end here, another 4 minutes, right? If this goes to the end, it's going to stay 2.5 for about how long into the third before will it drop? Will it go to 1.5? Will it go there if we still have no score into the third period? I don't know how with the. Or is it going to stick at 2.5?
I'm searching on my app while I'm on the show to try to make this play on under. When you said under 2.5 plus money, I was like, oh, okay, that's good. Let's take a quick look at that. It advanced me to game 7. There's already a number up. It's 5.5. So I'm like, wait a second, hold on here. I thought I was getting the best of it. That's what guys do all the time. So no, I'm going to have to refresh my app because that's
keep refreshing.
Not right. Yeah,
But is it going to drop any lower than 2.5? It ain't going to go to 1.5 in the third if there's still no score. No.
Halfway.
Really?
It'll go to halfway. Yep. It's you sit on that one and wait because you just said it. It's 2-1 final, right? If both teams score, it's 2-1 final. It's not going to be more than that.
Correct.
The book knows that too. So you don't want to go to 1.5 because now you leave open the door for 2-0 and everything else to beat you. So I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how long you sit on it, but it's not one of those ones where you're in a hurry to move the number. Now the juice is going to go like this. I mean, we're going to look like a hamster in a wheel. It's going to be going, cranking it up, towards the favorite. Wow,
that's great.
I don't know.
This is great. 19-10 shots, though. I'd give the refs credit. I mean, they really have swallowed the whistles for the most part. Not a ton, except for the high stick, the double minor they had. But give credit to Boston for killing that. Give credit to Toronto for killing this last power play. And here we sit, Joseph Wall absolutely crushing it in goal for Toronto, and Swayman seems unbeatable right now for the Bruins. So still got plenty of hockey to go there. Got plenty of basketball as well. And it looks like finally the 76ers are showing some signs of life. But 36-22 right now, the Knicks. And I see in-game total, Dave, 207.5. This is going to go one way to me here, it feels like. They're playing with pace. And the Knicks are being absolutely phenomenal, shooting the ball efficiently here. And they're crashing the boards left and right here, the Knicks. Every time I turn around, they've out-rebounded them 19-13. 9 second chance rebounds already offensively for the Knicks in the first quarter. You want to know why they have a lead? There's your reason as to why they have a lead. They keep giving the Knicks second chance opportunities, and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Rebounding is going to be a problem for Philadelphia. It's going to be. It's been a problem. It's going to keep being a problem.
So it's what I just clicked refresh. So it's 36-22, end of the first quarter.
Right.
Okay. What do we got to be at halftime if we're on the Sixers? Like, what do we go? Can we get this to within 6 and feel good? I feel like if they're
digit, I think. Any single digit.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
like it to
any
be a
single
little bit lower
digit.
than 9.
Sixers have been much better in the second half, and the Knicks have tended to fade. Again, we've got Anunoby, Hart, and Brunson over 50 minutes 48 hours ago. They played in that overtime game. So as this game goes on, you might have, your main players here for the Knicks be a little less efficient than they were early in the game, which is why I like the Knicks in the first half. So, a dangerous 76ers team with the back against the wall. And they've been punched here first, Dave. So what happens? What happens?
I'm just thinking about what happens when Cam joins us in the next segment. His Toronto Maple Leafs are out shooting now. It's 19-11.
Oh,
still no score. Oof. And I feel his pain when he's on with us. I mean, it's just another one of the they're getting a goalie. It's always been the goalie that gets them, the Leafs. It's not the goalie right now. So, looking forward to talking to him.
It should be 3-0 if it wasn't for their goalie right now.
Correct.
Wall is out of his mind. I'm feeling better about the under 2.5. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling better at the under because I do think this lands 1-0. Absolutely 1-0 when it's all said and done. We'll check in when we come back in Game Live Primetime.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they pick to have the Bears as the winner.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live prime time here, and it's getting good. Nothing like playoff basketball, playoff hockey. The Sixers have got it within 12 now. 10 minutes to go here before the break. 36-24. Knicks off to a hot start, shooting from 3. And we got nada, and I mean nothing here with Boston and the Maple Leafs right now. And nobody knows that better than Cam Stewart in the house here joining us. Cam, wouldn't you do anything for like a 6-0 game right by the second period here? You don't even have to watch the game anymore because you already know Toronto's going to win it. But they don't play like that.
Yeah,
do
they just scored.
Yeah, see,
They
there we
just
go.
scored.
There
Thank you. Hallelujah. Oh, I love you. I love you, Joe Raineri. I
You
love
should just
Dave.
come on more often, Cam.
Oh, I was actually going to call Jack. Please, I don't want to come on during the Leaf game, but now I'm coming on.
Wow.
That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yes, here we go. Oh, my God. I'm just like losing my mind here.
I was so
Nylander,
nervous
too, wasn't it? Was it
about you
Nylander?
coming on.
That's why you shoot the
being able
puck.
to
You shoot the puck from anywhere. That's how you score dirty,
Shoot
greasy
the puck.
goals. It's playoff hockey.
wow.
Like, Jack, we don't have to talk about this. This is how teams win. It bounces off a defenseman. Goalie can't see it. That's a novel concept. That's the whole thing, Dave.
Wow.
Cycling's a part of the new game. But as Gabe calls me, the old Tim Kerr, my nickname on the show, stand in front of the net, take your lumps, and I don't care if it goes off your jock, your leg, your head, your shoulder, stick. Doesn't matter. Just get in front of the goalie and make him blind. That's the key. 1-0 good, guys. Dave, if we can get this to Saturday night, me and your boy, this could be very interesting. It's a lot of way to go. A lot of way to go. Guys, we have Live Golf on the network tonight. I found something, Joe, because there's not a lot of things going on. I found a matchup bet. John Rahm only 20 cents against Joaquin Niemann. And, you know, I'm a big Niemann guy, and he's played great. But eventually John Rahm's going to turn this thing around. If you're going to give me him only like barely over a pick'em in Singapore, I'm going to take that. So I know we got Live coverage on the network and already gave a couple picks. I got Cam Smith at 15-1 and Abraham Answer at 25. And I know Brady Cannon likes Paul Casey is a big underdog at 38. Sergio Garcia, top 10. He lost in the playoff at this course last year. Should be fun, Joe. Another sport in the golf rotation. Now I'm betting Live, women's, seniors, regular, Hooters Tour, NCAA, ladies, anything.
Yes. And we cover it
just
all.
Just in time for the Kentucky Derby, Cam,
Yeah.
which I know you've been taking a peek at. Anything jump out to you? We've had people on all week. We've talked to guys every day on BVB live from Churchill, getting track reports and all this other stuff. Where are you going with the Derby, Cam?
Well, I got to tell you, the post positions for the favorites are not very good. Fierceness, though, as Joe knows horse racing too, if this horse shows up and gets a clean trip, he'll murder them. He is the best horse in the race, but very tough post position. Then you got Sierra Leone, the 3-1 favorite, the second choice. This horse looks the best, has had the best workouts early, another tough post position. But I'm going a little bit deeper with the was it Chasing Freedom or what is it? I always screw up that name. Catching Freedom. I think I did a video called him Chasing Freedom.
Yes.
I'd have to do it again. Yeah. But anyway, this horse is 10-1. And we look at buyer figures, and it's something to look forward to, Dave. And Joe knows this with these young horses. I like horses that continually get better. And every trip, this horse is getting a lot better. Anything can happen in the Kentucky Derby, but I will say this. Like, if you're looking at a clean race, Fierceness is the best horse. Sierra Leone, some people think they're neck and neck. But if I'm looking at an underdog, that's my horse because he's constantly improving. He's got a decent hole in the 4 position. That's not too bad. He's not boxed on the rail at 1 or at 17. That's the thing about the favorite. That position has never won a Kentucky Derby before in the 17 hole. Never. It's never happened in the history of the race. We're on race number 150. Also, I'm looking at another horse that kind of popped out to me, Honor Marie. That's just more of a vibe play. That horse is 20-1. I'm going to throw it in some exotics. And the 18, I did a show with Pat Mayo and a couple other guys. I've done 2 horse shows this week. And a guy I really respect, Ben Rossi, he's a very good horse handicapper. He likes the 18. And I was actually doing more research. That horse is scary. Yeah, Stronghold. Good call, Joe. Stronghold. That horse is kind of falling under the radar. I think it could do well. And we see what happens in this race. You need a perfect trip. It's 20 horses. They're saying it could be 50% chance of rain. And things can get really interesting. These if it rains, Dave, these guys are going to wear like 40 pairs of goggles. Like, you're taking your life in your hands on an animal like that. Like, it's as dangerous as car racing, man. I'm surprised there's not more deaths because it's absolute mayhem out there.
They did something different with the track. They've added, because there was a problem at Churchill, they changed the composition of it. This guy explained it to us, which if it rains, it will be a little bit more like treacherous, where clean trips will be very important. Cam,
Good luck
do
with
you
20
go
horses.
deep with it? Exactly. Trifecta.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Don't be
yeah.
on the rail where the slop continues, Dave. That horse will be knee
Exactly.
deep in it. You're done.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
over.
Do you go deep like you do with the golf, like exactas, trifectas, supers,
Yeah.
or do you just kind of keep it win, play, show?
No, I'll do a couple win play shows, but you have to play exotics because if you miss a horse, this thing pays boxcars, Dave. I'll be coming down to visit you
Yeah.
and Joe, and we can actually make
Hell
a trip
yeah.
to Vegas, and I won't have to worry about money and paying off my bills from New York because the pools of this race are absolutely fabulous. And if the favorites get knocked out, even if they finish second and third, and you have a bomb up top, and you got a box try or a box super, like a 10-cent super, what's it going to cost you? $36 with 5 horses, Joe? Is that correct? Is it?
Well, they only do dollar
last-
supers.
No, not where I live.
four.
I go to the OTB because a dollar super
Yes.
with 5-6 horses will
Yep.
cost you $360. No thanks.
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
dropping 5 dimes on this race. I go down to my local OTB. They do 10, 20, 50, and dollar supers.
The
Some
10-cent
sportsbooks do,
superfectas,
too.
the last 4 derbies have been 5 figures. So you're talking 10,000 and up.
Oh,
They have
monster.
paid on a 10-cent super. So and because no favorites win. We haven't had a favorite win in a long time. Everyone who we think wins, they don't win. So
Rich
it
Strike,
gets a
that
little.
horse wasn't even supposed to be there. I was lighting up a lucky
Exactly.
strike. My horse is
Exactly.
taking a dump in the
I
barn.
had
He won
another
80 to
kid.
1.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you
I'm
doing?
naming him Rich Strike. I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Because I hit that try.
Absolutely.
Changed my
Nice,
life.
Dave.
Unreal,
And
man.
you like baseball. It writes itself. Strikes. And let's get
Boom.
rich.
Done.
Let's go. Go
Let's
Leafs.
go Leafs. Let's go Leafs.
Give me a
Come
game
on,
7,
man.
you
Let's
turkeys.
do it. Come on.
Tory Taylor, who they actually needed some help in terms of their punting unit. He is going to be great.
But I do firmly believe if Odunze is not on the board, that they probably trade back and gain assets and look to fortify their team across the board. But the fact that we got a bozo pick in number 8 here from the Atlanta Falcons, that's the reason why I believe also they picked to have the Bears as the winner.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Does Dame get frustrated? Miserable year in Milwaukee. Does he ask out? Does Giannis ask out? Well, you ain't got no one else to trade. Middleton makes a ton of money, old. Bobby Portis makes a ton of money, old. Brook Lopez makes a ton of money, old. Pat Connaughton's going to give you nothing in trade value. So to me, watch Milwaukee. Folks, this could be the end of the Bucks dynasty.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
InGame live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here as we look to close out this edition of InGame Live Primetime. Cam Stewart, Gabe Morency coming your way here in just a few. They will have, of course, the rest of Game 6 here between the Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. In the meantime, boy, oh boy, what a difference a quarter makes because the Knicks can't hit water if they fell out of a boat right now. 1 of 10 in the second quarter. 41-36, now a 5-point game here. So those that might have been watching and jumped in and grabbing those ridiculous numbers on the Sixers, You can pretty much sit back and watch this thing play out here now. But second period's over, under 60 seconds. Toronto scores, and it kind of felt, Dave, call me crazy, that Boston was gaining momentum because they were all over Wall there in that final 5-minute stretch. And then, well, they give up a goal, and now the place is rocking as we get ready for the third period.
I'm so relieved that Toronto scored while Cam was on with us, because he was before – the segment started. You could tell, you could see he's stressed. He's like, I can't watch this team anymore. I know as you get older, you want him to win so bad. And I mean, he just wants them to win. His dad even said to him, Cameron, can they actually do it this year? And he said, yes. He's been on all these shows talking about this could be the year, feeling confident that if they win, they could win the next series. So it was good to see. And that was fun talking to him about the Derby. I wanted to talk about anything but the Leafs right then, after they scored especially. I don't want to, because I could tell, he was nervous. I don't want to say it's over, but that one goal, that was enormous. End of the period. I don't know, Joe. Do you think we get a Game 7? Is there anything better than a Game 7 in NHL playoffs?
Nothing. No.
There's nothing, right? Nothing.
Nope.
So selfishly, as a fan, I want to see it. As a guy who thought Boston was going to win, all this does is give me an opportunity to bet them again at home.
That's correct. Well, this game is not over. Again, it's still Toronto, who's had a really hard time doing just this. Winning games they should be winning here. But when did they stop, Dave? When did they stop reseeding? Because it feels like, I know there's a lot of people very upset that the Rangers and Carolina have to happen now in this second go around here, in the second round. There felt like, wow, this is kind of not what they had hoped that maybe they should be getting here, and it's not fair. But I don't know. I mean, do you think they should be, or is there an argument for reseeding after each round?
It used to not be that big of a deal, but then they put it in the way the bracket is now and locked it in. That's fine. At least, when it's easier to do, it's easier to manage the matchups for the book. I can tell you that, because you can do the prices based on what you know. Like, that was always one of the hard things in the book, to go, well, if this team plays them, then they're this. But if they play them, then they're this. Right. So now at least you kind of have it mapped out. Here's a bet right now on FanDuel. Will there be overtime in the Bruins and Maple Leafs game? No, minus 350. Yes, plus 250. Will you bet? Now it's 1-0. Bet no overtime. You want to lay that 350? Or you take your shot at plus 250 on the yes?
What are the Maple Leafs right now in this game? Well, actually, I'm sorry. What are the Bruins on the money line right now in this game? Is it more to back them? Because the Bruins have to plus how much? 2? Okay, so it's both the same there. So
same price.
You're if you're betting one, you're betting the other. Tell you that. If I'm betting overtime, I'm betting Bruins.
The total on FanDuel's 2.5. Or I'm sorry, 3.5. It's big juice, but it's minus 220. 3.5. Joe, it ain't going over 3.5. I'll tell you that right now.
Listen, I don't know that it's going over 2, to be honest with you here. I mean, it could be next. Could be. This could be. Listen, you just saw Toronto score in the final 60 seconds. You might very well see goalie pulled 6-on-5. You could very well see Boston score late, and next thing you know, we do have overtime. So may not be worth a lookie at plus money there. Either way, though, Cam Stewart, Gabe Morency, they will have you covered. By the way, Houston home run 3-2 over the Guardians. Enjoy the rest of the night here. We got plenty of games. In-game live. We'll be back again tomorrow. Enjoy. Good luck.